Kitchen. TamBo's Kitchen is a local, women-owned African restaurant that emphasizes the importance of healthy eating and producing nutrient-rich food for the community. Located in Greater Boston, founder Toyin joins us live to share her secret restaurant success and the story behind her brand. Toyin has some big news coming at the end, so be sure to watch us throughout this whole live. We'll go live for about 30 minutes. Welcome, Toyin. I'm so excited that you're here today.
Hey, Rebecca. So nice to be on board. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You gave me the most beautiful bio, and I wouldn't do it justice if I tried to read and look, so I'm just going to read it right off of here.
No problem.
I love it. This is awesome. Toyin is a serial Afropreneur who uses her voice, talent, and resources in the hospitality, health advocacy, and business development space. Toyin left Nigeria in the late 90s to pursue her IB diploma in Norway and arrived in the US in 2000. A graduate of top schools, her multifaceted experience in strategy and workforce development has allowed her to work with startups prior to starting her own amazing business. She is an executive chef of TamBo's Kitchen, which Grant right now live will visit as soon as my foot heals, and an African-themed restaurant in the South Shore of Massachusetts. She's the host of a cooking show on Avon Cable TV. And in 2017, Toyin was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer that was metastatic to her right lymph nodes. Not to waste her pain, she founded TamBo's Foundation, a nonprofit organization focused on tearing down the ethno-religious barriers and misconceptions prevalent in aphrodisiac. I can't say this. I'm sorry.
Afro-diasporic.
Oh my gosh, what is? Okay. I'm going to read that sentence again for the edits. Okay. Not to waste her pain, she founded TamBo Foundation, a nonprofit organization focused on tearing down the ethno-religious barriers and misconceptions prevalent in Afro-diasporic communities. She also serves on the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute Adult Patient Advisory Council. She is an author, a blogger, and a woman in ministry. A mother of 3, she's joyfully married to her darling husband of 17 years, and they both live in Brockton, Massachusetts. And that is by far the almost absolute best bio I've ever read. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here. Please tell us about TamBo's Kitchen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So where do I start? Right now, so as we all know, we're just coming out of a very big pandemic, but we are fortunate to still be standing. And like you mentioned in my bio, we do have a sister company, we have a sister organization called TamBo Foundation. So that's sort of our way of doing social good. I was diagnosed with breast cancer the same day that the building inspector gave me the occupancy permit for this place. So it's been quite a journey of grit, a journey of determination, a journey of survival and thriving. And so even with the pandemic, we've had to think of ways to still keep standing, and we're still standing. And so the foundation is our way of giving back to our community here and across the globe. So be it helping with food assistance or helping with resources to help navigate the whole cancer spectrum. That's sort of what we do, and also helping as a health advocate for those who don't know how to begin or know where to start. So this year we've tried to be nimble. So just coming up with lecture series to sort of pick up at those topics. And like we mentioned, those ethnic and religious stigmas that prevent people from getting treated. On the continent, in Nigeria for a start, we sponsored 10 up-and-coming caterers and give them a hard equipment that they can use for their baking business. So we try to incorporate social good into our mission and vision at TamBo's Kitchen. We're 4 years and counting, and we look forward to what the future holds. We are 100% women-owned business, 100% people of color staffed, and we have We've been here since 2017 of March the 4th, and we're moving, we're progressing, and we're looking forward to the 20s, the remaining part of 2021 roaring, so that myself and other people in the hospitality and restaurant business will thrive. We
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to come back in and ask you a quick question. So now restaurants were hit pretty hard during the pandemic.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, a lot of them have closed. How did you stay open? What specifically did you do? Do you have any advice for other women restaurateurs?
So, yeah, it was a difficult time. Like everybody, nobody knew where to start. Nobody knew where to pivot. And so the first thing for me, I have what I call a tool, sort of like an adversity toolkit. So, and the very first tool from that toolkit is not being ashamed or afraid to ask and receive help. So that was one of the first things that we did. We were fortunate to be recipients of the government's PPP program and EIDL program. So that really helped. I didn't have to fire anybody really. I didn't have to lay anybody off. And also you have to be nimble and willing to adapt. And so one of the things that we did was work with another organization called Off Their Plates and World Central Kitchen to provide food for providers and clinicians in the South Shore area. So they gave us Brockton Hospital and Kearney in Brockton to serve those clinicians there with some of our nutritious meals. So that really helped us, and we didn't suffer from the loss that would have come from catering or indoor dining, because none of that was happening, and that was a good at least 75% of our business revenue. So with that, supplying food to at least a minimum of 60 to 100 clinicians 4 days a week, that was good revenue coming in. So it was able to help us to pay rent, to pay staff, and just keep operations going. So the other thing that we also did was also amplify our takeout menu. Grateful to the governor and his team for considering restaurants essential workers. So even though people were not coming in to eat, we were able to sort of improve upon our online ordering, our personal online ordering, and also work with Uber Eats and DoorDash so that customers from that area can see what we have to offer. And the other thing as well was also to reach out to some of our customers who were out of state to ship food to them. So that was another way that revenue came in and we were able to stay afloat.
That's incredible. One of the things I love about you is when we're throwing ideas around about grants and other things, I'll say, what do you think about this? And you'll say, what do you think about this, Rebecca? And then at the end of the day, we end up saying, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you always find a way to make it happen. And
we have to.
I love that you have an adversity toolkit. I put that in the comments. If anyone else has some suggestions about how they pivoted, especially if you're in the restaurant industry, just let us know, because we'd love you to join the conversation.
Definitely.
Now, you're more than just a restaurant. Your restaurant specializes in African food, and there's a particular reason for that. So I'd love to hear more about your menu and how you decided upon what you wanted to serve for the specific nutrients that you're trying to pull off your menu.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. So my relationship with food and coming to TamBo's is actually, it's been bitter and sweet. So sweet because I come from a line of chefs and cooks and street vendors. So, and bitter, well, I wouldn't say bitter, but sort of like almost like but it ended up working out for good. So my daughter was born with severe food allergies. So she was allergic to dairy, allergic to shellfish, allergic to eggs. And so when the doctor told me, it was like, oh no, where do I start? Which meant I had to be very particular about shopping, looking and reading labels and whatnot. However, that process actually helped me, because today at TamBo's, we are very, very cautious of making sure that not only are our meals tasty and mouth-watering, but we also consider people with food allergies. 2 years ago, was it 2 years or 20? Yeah, 2019, I had a customer come to the restaurant and she came with a slew, like a paper full of allergies of what she was allergic to. And she said, "What can I eat here?" And I was able to offer her a beautiful dish that we call Badagry Express. It's a bean dish. So it was vegan, it was vegetarian, it had none of the things that she was allergic to, with fried plantain that was fried in fresh oil. So, and some sauce. So we are very careful about what we offer from a health perspective so that meat eaters, vegans, vegetarians, people with allergies, gluten, and whatnot can come in and enjoy the TamBo's experience. Also, African food, I believe, is one of the best kept secrets and is often misconstrued because in the past it's been, oh, it's high in carbs, it's oily and whatnot. However, what people don't know is that most of our foods have to go through a process called fermentation. And because of that, they end up being very high in probiotics. So if you're African and you're not eating those foods that your mother and your grandmother fed you, you're missing out because you're missing out on all the things that are good for your gut health. Gut health is the new thing now in the food industry, in the health and diet industry. And so what better food to try than African food? So we use a lot of bean products. We use a lot of nuts. Most of our soups that we call them hearty sauce entrees at TamBo's are made from watermelon seeds. They're made from bean seeds. They're made from peanut seeds. So, of course, if you have peanut allergies, you can have peanut soup. That is very universal across West Africa. So we do rice dishes as well. Our foods are high in vegetables. A lot of the sauces that come, at least from Nigeria that I know of, up until Ghana and Liberia. So be it the banana leaf soup, or it's egusi, or ofe onugbu, which is bitter leaf soup. So a lot of them come up with leaves that have very high in chlorophyll, high in antioxidants, high in things that help with cell repair. One of them actually is jute, which is not just eaten in Africa, in West Africa. Apparently, Greeks and people of Arab descent, they eat it. And I remember when I was actually undergoing chemo, the only thing I could eat was jute. And one of our very high probiotic fufus called amala. And it was later on that a medical doctor told me that in ancient Egyptian history, the pharaohs ate jute whenever they were sick and they felt better. So all I knew was I ate it and all my vitals were good for chemo. But now people are starting to find out that it's very good and helps with cell repair. So if you have never tried African food, come down to TamBo's or take a pit stop at any African restaurant next to you and give it a try.
Well, I think we're going to come down to TamBo's.
Come on now, come.
That's awesome. So I've had celiac my whole life. So I have a ton of food allergies. And it's interesting you share this story about the woman who came in with the document and said, here's everything I can't eat. What can I have here? When I was first diagnosed, no one ever even heard of celiac. And this was, oh my gosh, over 20 years ago. I'm like, how old am I now? Okay. Anyways, so they gave me a stack of papers this big that said, this is everything you cannot eat.
Cannot eat. Mm.
And I thought, I don't know what to do. I was 19. I don't know how to cook. So I
knew you before then.
My husband, we're dating at the time. He said, you know what? Throw everything away that says that you cannot eat and keep the list of things that says you can eat. So that's how we navigated it. And I cannot wait to come down there. When are you open? Do you serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or when are you open?
We do early, so somewhat like a brunch. So we open at 11. So if you come in at 11 and you start your midday lunch early, you will find us. Actually, so if you can see behind me, I'm actually behind our steam table. So by 11, food is ready. You can come in, grab and go. So we have like most of the top five foods that people order. So when we do our reporting every month, so okay, what are people buying the most? So that's something that we have there available so that people can come pick it and go. So yeah, so from 11, so Mondays to Fridays, we're open from 11 to 9 p.m. On Saturdays, it's 10 to 10. And on, Tuesdays to Fridays. So we close on Mondays. Tuesdays to Fridays, we do 11 to 9. And then on Saturday, 10 to 10. And then on Sunday, 1:30 to 6:30. So you only find us here at TamBo's on Mondays if we have a catering order, or so one of the accounts that we just partnered with, Relish. So we actually make lunches already bagged and we send it to offices in the greater Boston area. So if we ever have any office call us to make them lunch, we'll be here. But normally we're not open.
That probably saves so much time too, you know, for people who are ordering lunch, because sometimes when you're going to get lunch on your break, your entire lunch break is just waiting for lunch, you know, waiting. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. You know, we just started it. We cut it off. It's like, you know what? Let people come in, see it, take it, go. So, and these are foods that they usually normally order every day. So why not make it available for them to just take and go?
Is your food mostly served hot, or is it a mixture of both hot and cold dishes?
Most of our foods are served hot. I can't think of one thing the only thing that is served cold is our Nigerian salad. And actually, I need to talk about that now. So starting next week, we are going to be offering almost like the salad and chicken and chapati. So as a quick lunch, lunch offering. So it's almost like a wrap, but made of Nigerian salad. So now when you think of Nigerian salad, it's not your usual, it's very rich. I mean, it's got like baked beans, sweet peas, cabbages, carrots, all kinds of things, and then you can add some chicken. It's a meal unto itself. So, then you can pour it in the chapati wrap and just have it for lunch. So yeah, starting next week, Monday, we are going to be doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Now, community is very important to you. And we touched on it a little bit, but I'd like you to talk about how do you connect with the community? Because you have your restaurant and you do a lot of local hiring. Everybody knows you. You're very well respected in the community, but then you have your foundation. So why is community so important to you? Because one of the things that I have learned in my own experience throughout the pandemic, but with a lot of my other clients and students and colleagues, is that they really felt a lot of isolation through all of this. And those that were able to kind of stay open, present for the community, were so important during the pandemic, but amplified the reassurance for people to know that that's a place that you can go, a person that you can talk to get relief, to just to know that someone else is there for you. And I know that you do so much in the community. So if you want to talk about that a little, we'd love to hear.
Thank you, Rebecca. So for me as a person, community is key. And it's so funny, actually, the other day I was looking at the praise name on my father's side of the family, and hospitality and being people person is sort of our mantra. And so when people come to TamBo's Kitchen, you're not just coming for the food, you're coming for the relationship, you're coming for solutions. So our hope and goal is that we help you in any way possible, point you to resources that you need. And also, community is made up of people and institutions and businesses and whatnot. So what the pandemic really showed us was that we need each other. And for that, I just want to use this opportunity to thank those who still continue to patronize us despite the pandemic, who braved it, came in and trusted that we were following COVID protocols to serve them and make sure that, we didn't have a super spreader event or issues, excuse me, around us. So for me, I am always looking for opportunities, and even the business for opportunities to plug in, to let people know that we are here. So be it a couple of schools, they will call us, can you donate to this cause? we do that with joy, with without strings attached, because we want to be a part of all the good things that are happening. When a community is secure, the businesses are secure, the people are secure, and so I'm using this opportunity to sort of to reach out to everyone listening to this, to be active and to promote, oneness and unity wherever they find themselves. So this year, one of the things that we look to do for the next half of the year is to reach out more to the homeless. So we did a little bit of that last year, working with homeless shelters and sending food to them, making sure that those who were on the streets were not too hard hit and had food to eat. So this year we want to amplify that. We want to do more of that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I love how you said we did that with joy, right? Joy is a huge part of, okay, I can do it, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you don't have your own problems. You see, that's the thing. There's a difference between joy and happy. Joy is you just do, despite what you're going through, whether you got bills to pay or not, you just do it and let the person know that, yes, you do want to, help them and be a blessing to whatever that they're doing.
Now I'm curious, do you have a patio section? Because a lot of restaurants in Boston have the patio out front. Do you have a patio section, or is it all indoors?
So it's mostly indoors, but what we did try to set up a patio session, and we were given a provisional what do we call it? A provisional approval, because they wanted us to do something much, 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 much stronger. So, but we left it, it was like, okay, you know what, we may not be able to do it now because the cost was sort of way too much right now. So, but what has happened is we've sort of spruced up the whole environment, added flowers, made it really popping. So when people come, they actually know, oh, there's something going on here. And those who've come back, who've been our customers, are like, they like what they see, they like the improvement. So what should have been the patio is more like a little mini decoration that people know that, okay, if that looks like outdoor dining, that means there's a restaurant there. So it's become like a decoration for us.
I know, but it's nice though, because you're open in the evening, so someone could go for date night or a nice evening out with family and friends, and while they're waiting, if the restaurant's crowded, they can be out there enjoying that space. So I think it's great.
Definitely. Thank you.
How important is being a strong female leader? I had a group on yesterday called the Fly Movement, and they were talking about motivating women, especially women who are impacted by trauma. And a lot of their messaging emphasized the importance of having a strong female leader. And I think it's really important to differentiate between being a strong woman and being a strong female leader. Doesn't mean that you're aggressive in a bad way. So I got a couple of comments, some feedback about, how that message resonated with a lot of people who were watching yesterday, who saw the episode, and they really liked it. So I want to ask you the same question. How important is it to be a strong female leader, and where do you get your inspiration from?
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you once again. So it's so funny that you asked this question, because I was thinking about it this morning, the difference. I'm about to take my upper management on a retreat, and we're going to be talking about leadership and bossmanship. So there's a difference between a leader and a boss. A boss is somebody that leads with fear and aggression and command. A leader leads with persuasion and positive influence. And so a strong female leader is somebody, in my definition, somebody who is not afraid to show their battle scars, somebody who is not afraid to admit their mistakes, somebody who is not afraid to be vulnerable, and is able to carry the people who look up to her along. And that essentially is the story of TamBo's Kitchen. Remember, I was sick when it was time to open the restaurant. Now, I had been doing this from the comfort of my home, catering, and I felt it was time to have a place where people could come, a home away from home, where they could have that home cooking experience in a very decent environment. So I had people who had been working with me from the comfort of my home, and they came with me when it was time to open the restaurant. Now, when we launched the restaurant, I let them know, guess what? Breast cancer is on the horizon. I need your help so that I can take care of myself. And they were ready, they were willing, and they were able because over the years I had led by influence, I had led by persuasion, and I had not been, again, afraid or ashamed to ask for help. That's the number one. That for me is like my never, if I were to make a t-shirt or launch a t-shirt company, it's going to be don't be ashamed to ask for help. So that is what leadership is. They saw the highs, they saw the lows, and they're still here with me 4.5 years later. So a strong female leader has to be willing to be brave enough to shine light on principles that make for good leadership and influence people to come along with them. And that's what I'm doing here at TamBo's Kitchen. I not only I don't even call them employees, I call them associates. So when they come, my goal is that if you ever have to leave this organization, you're leaving with an entrepreneurial mindset. You're not leaving as an employee, no, because that's not going to serve you. I want you to be able to tap within whatever it is that is your God-given talent. And so if you say, Toyin, it's time for me to move on, you're going to go there and do great things. And I've got testimonies of people who worked with me when I was at home who are moving on to great things. They own their own businesses. They're like in their heads, they're sort of in upper management. They're doing very well. They're thriving. And also a strong leader teaches. You have to teach. You don't keep things to yourself. For those who are willing, who are teachable, don't be afraid to teach them. Don't be afraid to show them how things can work, how systems work, how to put structures in place for effective growth. So that's my take on being a strong female leader.
It's interesting you say that. Don't be afraid to teach, because I think when we are afraid to share our knowledge and teach and mentor other people, I think with that comes insecurity in the person who's withholding that knowledge from others. And a lot of what you're saying, leadership, is also confidence. I love this. I wish I could be on your team.
It's so funny. I'm glad that you reiterated it. I'm glad because I remember, how did I get here? Somebody held me by the hand. He's not longer here in the U.S. His name is Abbas. His restaurant is in Waltham, Caribou. And so, over the years, I used to go there, order chapati. And when it was time, I told him, I said, I'm ready to start my restaurant. And he said, come to my kitchen. He brought me to his, pretty much what I call his sanctuary, his holy place. And he showed me how everything was done. He gave me contacts of vendors that would be able to work with me with my grease strap, with with whatever maintenance stuff I need, who to talk to, how to. So somebody helped me. And so it is important that I help somebody. I'm not afraid. And if you keep to yourself, you don't make room for growth. You have to be willing to share. And I love it. For me, I follow leaders who are willing to share of themselves. I mean, I can mention so many. And so because I follow them, I have to imbibe what they teach me and do the same to people coming behind me. So a good, strong female leader is not afraid to share. That's my last.
Wow. I wish we had more time.
I know.
Your story is incredible, Toyin.
Thank you.
So we can go to your website, right? TamBosKitchen.com. And before we go, let's talk about your cooking show. And then I understand you have some really big news that you want to share with us.
Yes. So definitely. So, quickly, the cooking show, it started last year. We're just about to start in March, and then the pandemic happened. But, we're still going, and you can find episodes on our website at www.tamboskitchen.com. So there I show you how to make some of the food that we make here at TamBo's, and also just African recipes in general. So go on and go check. And also, we are looking to get a food truck. Yes. So we know that the pandemic we're not going back to what it used to be anymore. It's not going to happen. And so we have to think of ways to be creative. We have to think of ways to be strategic. And we also want to reach as many of our customers. We have been blessed to have people come from other New England states, New Hampshire, to come order food from us, Rhode Island, and also even from far out Massachusetts. So getting the food truck will help us in many fronts. One, more visibility to offer our products and profits and reach our customers. So I need your help. We need your help when we start the fundraiser. I will let you know, but please have us at the back of your mind that we need the food truck and we're looking to launch before summer comes to an end.
Now, do you have an opt-in on your website that if people want to know more about your food truck venture, if they want to directly support your food truck venture, can they opt in, put their email in, a newsletter or something on your website?
So if you would like to support us, you can send us a contact. So we have a contact form on our page, but we will be putting something on our webpage very soon to sort of that will link to our GoFundMe so that you can support the food truck.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. You're welcome. Thank you. This has been a really fun show. We're coming to the end of our time here. So we'll have to, next time we'll plan, you could take us on a tour of the restaurant. Maybe you can even cook something for us if you have.
Oh yes, I would love to. Let's do that.
So busy. But anybody, really, anyone with allergies, anyone who wants to try African food and all of the health benefits that come along with it. One of the things that I'm going to tell my kids after the show is that if you eat watermelon seeds, you won't grow a watermelon in your belly. I learned
yes. I'm looking forward to Halloween coming, like watermelon seeds, pumpkin seeds. I'm going to go to all the farmers, like when they're carving, I'm just going to take the seeds. So we take the seeds, we dry them out, we shell them out, and then we grind them. So maybe I can make one of those when we meet again to show people how we make a goosey. Yeah, that's what it's called.
That would be great. I love it. Can you spell the name of that seed that you were talking about? Because I want to put it in the chat before we go so everyone can get it.
Sure. It's Egusi, EGUSI. And you can get it at any tropical market. Oftentimes it's usually ground, but you can get the seeds. I would say get the seeds and blend them yourselves.
Okay, I'm putting that in the chat. Do you want to leave us with any inspirational message before we sign off?
Again, I will only tell you what I know that has worked. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And adversity is just a stepping stone to the next great thing. That's what it is. That's it. Adversity is just a stepping stone to the next best chapter of your life. So that's it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Toyin. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Me too. I hope everyone has a great day. I'm Rebecca Tuttle, and you're learning with Grant Right Now. Take care, Grant Writers.
Bye.
Bye.